Alright, now I got the rotor on. I put a lug nut on it just to hold it up against here. And one of the things I wanted that's very important, because disc brakes, most types of disc brakes are either full floating or I can't think of the name for the other type, but basically this caliper, the caliper has to be able to float here. So this pin right here, caliper pin, has to be free moving, and this one's frozen. So what's going to happen is the that caliper will not move because of that one side, and it will apply brakes unevenly. Okay, the way a piston works, this type of brake works, is let's see if I can look at it over here. The way that works is it's got one piston coming out, and it moves out and contacts the face of the rotor, and it continues to come out, but because the rotor is contacted, the piston doesn't move anymore. What happens is the backside of it pulls the other brake, so the whole caliper shifts over until it centers itself and squeezes evenly. That's why there's only one. If it's only got one piston on one side, not on the other, it has to be able to float and center itself. Okay, so it's really important that all of your caliper kits, if you might need to get a caliper kit or free this up. I'm going to be able to free this up because I'm going to knock this pin out and clean it all up and then reinstall it. I'm going to clean this up on a wire wheel. I knocked the centerpiece out, and this is the part that's supposed to slide back and forth in there. And safety first. So when I do anything like that, also with a die grinder, I put this on. Okay, it's a face shield. So I'm going to go right over here to the wheel, and I'm going to be cleaning it off. Okay, so I got this cleaned off. That's the inside. It goes into here. So what you need to do is you want to make sure this is lubricated with grease. Okay, so I've got some synthetic grease I'm going to be using, and I cleaned this out with a round file. Okay, normally at work I use a carbide, it's like a carbide burr, and it's a cylindrical with a tapered, rounded point on the end, end, so like dome shape, but then it's a cylinder. And I have that on another die grinder, a straight die grinder, and I just run that in there, and that carbide thing cuts all that out, that stuff out, and gets it all cleaned out. So the next step is to lubricate that, slide that back in, and then to get this piston has to go all the way back because I got a new rotor on here, so that's thicker, and then we got to put brand new pads on it. So this piston has to go all the way back to where it starts to put all the new parts on it. Okay, so what you want to do is, before you compress it, is crack that bleeder valve. There's a bleeder valve right there. Let's see if I can see it. Right there, it's got a cover on it. That right there. Pop that bleeder valve, crack it open a little bit, and push the piston back, and then tighten it back up. These two parts right here go over here and over here. When you buy aftermarket brake pads, here are the pads over here. These are the pads. When you buy these, they do not come with this part right here, so I have to reuse them, unfortunately. And this is why this was squealing, and I thought that the pads were worn to the point of this squealer rubbing on the rotor. This one right here, I don't know if you can tell, is deformed. There you can tell. See how one side is, this side right here, straight, and that other side right there is, see how it's all curved? It's not supposed to be like that. They've been worn off. That one's is gone, just about gone. The other one's worn off. That's what's been screeching on the rotors. So I don't have any spare ones of these, so I'm going to have to clean this one off, and I'm going to have to not use this one, and I'm just going to have the put lots of grease on here and have the brake pads right on this as opposed to in here. The reason why these are in there is they're stainless steel and they don't corrode as badly. So once I get back to work in September, I will have to take that apart and I'll just put new ones in there. Okay, this part right here needs to be cleaned off and re-greased, and I got the slider all cleaned. Okay, now as you can see, the pads are in place. The carrier's on, the pads are in it. They're both in there. You can see the inside, that one right there has got the wear indicator on it, and it's up at the top because the rotor's spinning counterclockwise up here. So the front edge is the top. And now what I'm going to be doing to keep them from making noise, I put grease on the outside surface of both rotors. On this side, I smeared all over this area, and then on this side, I smear it all over where the surface of the pad, where the piston comes in contact with the pad, and where the other side of the caliper comes in contact with it. And the reason why is because the noise is a resonance that's formed. If you put something that makes it slide, the grease there attenuates that resonance, so it can't all resonate together as one unit, so it keeps it from making a noise. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to put the caliper on top. Alright, the caliper bolt is in. It's right here. I put that in, tightened it. This is just a sliding pin here. So now this is finished on this side. It's all tightened up, and all I have to do is take that one lug nut off the bottom there and put the wheel back on it, and then finish the other side.